So let's talk about renting studio spaces. Now, you can rent a studio, location, or space if you're thinking about shooting less frequently. This also allows you more flexibility and options for backgrounds and locations. Renting a space is usually how people produce videos, though it can get expensive if you are shooting multiple times a month. Now, if you plan to shoot and publish content consistently, you should think about turning one of the rooms in your office or your house into a studio, or creating your own studio by leasing or buying a large space. Creating your own studio will allow you to be able to shoot whenever you want and have more freedom in changing the sets and backgrounds. Now, when you know what type of videos you want to make, then you can start building your studio to allow you to create them on a consistent basis. So let's say, for example, you do want to use that food space, and if you want to create top-down recipe videos for your new hot sauce, then you'd want to create a pre-lit studio with a kitchen table and backdrop stand to clamp on your lights and camera. And you would have this up with lights so that they're pre-lit, quote unquote. That means that it's already lit up and you're able to just turn on the lights on and off so that you can actually just go into your studio once a week, once a day, how often you want, and you're ready to go to shoot the video content that you want. Now, be aware of windows, skylights, and other lights that can leak into your video, because that can mix your light color temperature or even change the brightness of your room according to the time of day. Okay, backgrounds and sets. So figure out what kind of set you'd like for your videos and build it according to your brand or creative brief. Light it and see if it looks good on camera, and either leave the lights there for a pre-lit setup or mark the floor with tape so you can place the lights in the same place for future shoots. Now, you can always use a backdrop stand and buy different colored backdrops to have more variety. Now, let's talk about electricity, because it's very important. So when you're shooting inside and using lighting equipment, the lighting equipment can take a strain on your breaker and electricity and power grid. So make sure you have enough power for your lights, or else you will be prone to blackouts. Most residential circuits are rated for 1800 to 2400 watts before the breaker trips. Now, you need to know the amps of the circuit. Most home circuits are 15 or 20 amps. Now you figure out the voltage. Standard 3-prong outlets are 120 volts. Now, to calculate the amps being used, you need to total the watts plugged in divided by volts. So watts divided by volts equals amps. So figure out how many amps each of your lights will consume, and then use the formula above to see if you're below the breaking point. It's a good idea to keep all of your lights plugged into separate outlets, or keep all the small wattage lights grouped together and the big ones separated. So let's talk about ventilation. You know that lighting can get also very hot, so it's good to have proper ventilation and AC to make sure your talent and equipment don't overheat, including your products. Be mindful of open windows and AC though when recording sound, so make sure to note when you need to record sound and when you need to ventilate a hot room. So now we can talk about soundproofing. You should soundproof your studio so you don't get any external noise captured on your mic. Now, if you can't professionally soundproof your studio, then just be mindful of what noises can get captured on your mic, like employee chatter, traffic, birds, and when you can't shoot around those times.